Hello.
Hello there.
Welcome to Bridge the World.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Hideyuki Yoshioka or Hide. In this program, I invite the guest who's working in cross-cultural situation, and I ask them to share their perspective, experience, suggestion, how to bridge the world. Today, my guest is my friend, Ryan Barrett, professional coach, trainer, facilitator, consultant based in India. I guess he gives us lots of insight. Okay. So, Ryan, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's great honor to have you in this program. So, first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself. What's your background, your expertise, your experience, basically who you are. Okay. Thank you. Mhm.
Okay. So, in terms of my professional experience, I have about 20 years experience in the corporate HR world
Mhm.
across 7 different industries,
Mhm.
which you might know in terms of IT education, telecom, logistics, health insurance, loyalty management,
Mhm.
timeshare,
Mhm.
banking, financial services. So
Mhm.
it's been varied, and this exposure to different industries allowed me to learn about different ways of working with people, the different mindsets they come with, how to hire for those particular industries, because each industry has its own set of requirements. They want certain things in a particular way. Not everyone will do even at a starting level, at a junior fresher level.
I
So
see.
this is where I have come from in terms of that professional experience.
Mhm.
It's now 10 years since I started on my own as you said, trainer, coach, facilitator, HR
Mhm.
consultant.
Mhm.
And here too, I have worked across different industries. I've not stayed with
I see.
any particular industry.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
again, the journey has been curious, interesting, and fulfilling also, because I
Mhm.
get to try
Mhm.
different things with different groups and see how it works.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Uh, I'd like to ask you, what's your strengths or what's the most comfortable situation when you do your job with?
Okay. So in terms of my job,
Mhm.
the strengths which I tend to use a lot uh,
Mhm.
would be communication,
Mhm.
ability to communicate ideas, both
Mhm.
simple and complex, and
Mhm.
I try to simplify my language so that the other persons or my participants can understand what I'm trying to help
Mhm.
them understand.
Mhm.
Because I've learned that if I use too much of jargon, they'll only look at me and nod their heads, and nothing else will happen. So
Mhm.
I try to make sure that it's simple enough for them to understand.
Mhm.
So communication is a big thing for me.
Mhm.
The other side is also analytics,
Mhm.
in design. So
Mhm.
I analyze what needs to be done, and then accordingly put together a proper design for it,
Mhm.
so that it is aligned to the objectives which we are trying to achieve, whether it's a training program or whether it's a facilitation assignment
Mhm.
or it's a coaching assignments. That we must have clarity about what the outcome is. So that's what I focus on when I'm doing my design. So that's the other strength I have.
Mhm.
Uh, I also have humor as a strength. So
Mhm.
it tends to make things not so serious, because I've been given feedback in the past that, Ryan, you look very serious.
Mhm.
You need to lighten up, smile a little, smile a lot.
Mhm.
So for me, the advice was smile a lot, not a little, because for
I
you,
see.
little is not enough.
I see.
So these are 2 or 3 of my strengths which I use a lot
Mhm.
in terms of analyzing, in terms of communication, in terms of design and
Mhm.
humor.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. And I guess you had a lot of experience to facilitate or conduct training for cross-culture group, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
have in India, there are different cultures
Yeah, yes. Yes.
across state borders, in fact, so
Mm-hmm.
knowing that you don't know the language, but you have to be aware of their customs
I see.
and, accept them as they are. We cannot enforce. So
I
that realization came to me even earlier during my HR career in the corporate world,
mm-hmm.
where I was looking after multiple states
I see.
as a zonal head of HR. I
Yes,
had 3 or 4 states under my control, or which I was responsible for.
I
So
see.
being clued into what those particular people in that particular state are looking for, the
Mm,
way they behave, the way they will respond, and trying to accept that and make some sense out of it,
mm,
and push the organization forward.
mm,
That's precisely what I've had to deal with in terms of
mm,
cross-cultural
mm.
experiences.
I see. So,
I've had a few international coaching clients as well
mm,
from different countries. Scotland, one
I
was
see.
from Spain,
I see.
someone from the Middle East, someone from Southeast Asia.
Mm,
So again,
mm,
I always have to be mindful enough to
mm,
ask first,
mm,
is this okay? I'm not sure I've understood this. I need to get your perspective before I can share my thoughts on this, because
mm,
I need to understand how things work in your city or in your country,
mm.
so that whatever I'm telling will be most fitting for that question of yours.
I see. Yeah, you see. Then you have that reference to facilitate cross-cultural group, which means multinational group. But even in Indian dominant group, it has very diverse culture.
Yes, yes, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
in each region of India has a totally different culture, right?
absolutely.
I see,
Different
I see.
cultures, different festivals,
Yes,
sometimes completely different religions, sometimes 3 or 4 religions in one state.
I see.
And let's not forget the food. The food is amazing across India.
I see.
And that is one of the reasons why, since I think about 2002 or
Mm,
2000, no, 2004, I'd say,
mm,
I developed an interest in traveling within India more than traveling internationally,
mm.
because there's so much within India to learn about.
I see, I see. I see.
And it's wonderful to be in a place like this, which allows you to
Uh,
learn so much.
I see. I see. Thank you. So, do you have experience to facilitate a group which includes Japanese?
Unfortunately, I've not had that opportunity yet.
I see.
I've not had that opportunity yet.
Yeah, but you had a chance to work together with Japanese professional like me.
Yes, 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 definitely. That's how we met. That's
Yes,
how we met.
yes. So, how do you, on your own viewpoint, how do you observe Japanese business culture or communication culture? How do you characterize?
Uh, I will say that the Japanese approach towards communication is very measured.
Mm,
I, I will not say, I will say that there are no wasted words.
mhm,
Every communication is precise,
mhm. I see.
to the point,
Mhm,
and it aids in us to understand each other and the goal very clearly, so that
mhm,
there's no misunderstanding.
mhm.
And
I see.
the other good thing also, which is there, that it's open to say, hey, I didn't understand this. Can you explain?
Mm,
You know,
mhm,
would you
mm,
like me to clarify? Can you explain this further? So
mm,
I always felt welcomed to say that,
mhm,
hey, sorry, I'm not sure I understood. Can you
mhm,
please explain
mhm,
this again or
mhm,
clarify this for me? So that makes the bonding stronger.
mm, mm.
The relationship starts growing like that,
I
and
see.
you start to trust them.
Mhm. I see. Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. I understand. Yeah. Japanese like to make it clear, so clarify, always try to clarify. We don't like to leave something hanging or unclear. But sometimes that attitude brings kind of incrementalism.
Yes.
Yeah. In, in terms of, I see from my viewpoint, in this people, the speed of Indian people is very fast.
Yes.
When you do something, when you do when you do speak, when you do
Yes.
business.
And that is something I constantly remind myself, slow down, slow down, slow down.
Have you ever had a very uh, difficult situation to get through when you facilitate cross-culture group? And if so, how do you address? How do you break through that?
Okay. So I was doing a program some years ago with
Mm,
the leadership team of a real estate
mm,
company.
mm, mm,
And this was in South India, Southern India, which speaks completely different languages.
mm, mm, mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I realized that there were people in the room who were keeping very quiet.
Oh, I
They
see.
weren't distracted with their phones or anything like that, but
Mm,
they were quiet and they were hesitant to speak. And
mm,
when I kept pointedly requesting them to share their viewpoint and all, they would say yes, yes,
mm,
and stop there.
mm,
So after about an hour or two, I got fed up of this and I said, look,
mm,
I'm okay if you don't speak English well. If you
mm,
speak your language, please do that. Make
mm,
sure your colleagues understand what you're saying.
mm,
And one of the people who speaks English can translate it for me.
mm, mm,
And after that, people were more engaged
mm,
because I gave them what they perceived as my permission.
mm,
It was open in the first, but maybe I was not clear in my ways of working at the start.
mm.
That please do speak in the language you're comfortable in. Just make sure your colleagues understand first
I see.
and request one of them to me. So maybe I should have done that more clearly
Mm,
that time.
mm,
But after I did this, I found the participants actively giving their points of view in their local language.
mm,
And one of the people from the group who was familiar with both English and,
mm,
of course, the local language
mm,
would explain to me, saying, yes, he's got this, he's understood this point. This is what he wants to say exactly. And I think it matches with what we are all thinking. So that helped the group then work together more effectively because the overall topic for that group was collaboration.
mm. I see.
So it really helped.
Oh, thank you. Quiet Indian. I can imagine.
Very difficult, but yes, happens.
So in Japan, there was a big momentum of globalization, particularly during 2010 and 2020. There was big momentum.
Okay,
Many companies or organization, mm, private sector, public sectors, are very passionate to expand their business outside Japan, and also in terms of human resource, they try to train employees more globalized, yeah, global talent development. Yeah.
okay,
In Japanese, we call it global 人材育成. It means global talent and development.
okay.
But I don't see it's really achieved. So when you hear the word globalization, what comes to your mind? Particularly, it's about global talent development.
So when I hear these words of global talent development, and
Mm,
because I'm a strengths coach,
mm,
I instinctively think about what other people's strengths might be and how we can leverage them together. That's
I
what
see.
comes to my mind.
I see. I see. Mm,
Because since I'm a strengths coach,
mm,
certified by a company called Strength Strategy
mm,
Incorporated,
mm, mm,
uh, I'm always on the lookout,
mm,
or not. I'm lookout. Lookout is not really the proper word, but I always tend to observe people to see what their strengths might be,
mm,
and
mm,
then how people can then blend together and collaborate and work together and deliver stuff.
mm,
So
mm,
even during my interviews, this is something I would look for. And in my interview notes, invariably for some candidate or the other, there would be a note saying could
mm,
be considered for this role also,
mm, mm,
which is not for the main role which the person came for the interview.
mm,
So
mm,
I try to look at it. And that's when you say global talent development, this is what comes to me.
mm,
How do we work together as a citizen of Earth
mm, mm.
so that the Earth benefits
I see.
our skills and talents?
Yes. Thank you very much. So nowadays, as Indian economy, Indian business market is very gaining in global scale, many Indian big companies acquire Japanese existing big company. And there are many Indian supervisors in Japan, in Japanese company who acquire company, and many Indian managers struggle to manage Japanese employee because as we as we talked, business culture, communication culture is quite different from Indians. So many, yeah. Now I see many Indian managers struggle to manage their Japanese employee appropriately. What do you think the Indian manager should do? What to do to manage Japanese employees appropriately?
So for me, I think the first thing these Indian managers should do would be to understand the country of Japan,
I see.
the background, the culture,
Mhm,
okay, what religion is followed, just to
mhm,
get a sense of
mhm,
what people will actually be like.
mhm, mhm,
Because when you come down to actual motivations
mhm,
across the world, we are not very different.
mhm,
We'll just give priorities for different things. And
mhm,
that's primarily how we call each other out as different. So
mhm,
for an Indian manager, first you understand the country,
mhm,
culture, the religion, okay, places of interest over there. Next, you go and understand the people you're actually working with,
I
which
see. I see.
means spending one-on-one time with them.
Mhm,
Don't do it as a group.
mhm,
In a group, there's safety in numbers, they say. So
mhm,
you may not get exactly honest thing. And when you are doing these one-to-ones, be sure to share of your own self,
mhm,
not your work experience. Your work experience they will find on LinkedIn,
mhm,
right? But
mhm,
who you are as a person needs to come out so
mhm,
that they know you're a person. You're
mhm,
not just a label of manager.
mhm, mhm. I see. I see.
And that helps you to build bridges, so
Mhm,
to speak.
mhm,
And it also gives them the idea that, yes, I can talk to this person
mhm,
and share my story because I know I'm important and
mhm,
this person is willing to listen. So that
mhm,
willingness to listen, which develops into a term which we can call as approachability,
mhm, mhm,
will then helps to build this bridge
mhm, mhm.
towards each other.
I see. Thank you. Thank you.
Of
Yeah.
course, there will be no negotiation on poor performance and things like
Mhm,
that,
mhm.
but there will be understanding,
I see. I see. I see.
and that is critical.
Mhm,
Because if we judge without understanding or
mhm,
we do a superficial assessment,
mhm.
then we are not going to get very far in terms of meeting our own goals as a manager.
I see. I see. So it can be applied to employee side, right?
Yes,
Yes. Yeah. So getting closer to each other is very important. Yeah.
yes.
I see. Yeah. In Japanese, we call it ayumiori. Ayumi means walk, and your is
I
getting
walk
closer.
towards you.
Yeah. Yes. Walking
Nice.
closer to each other. Yeah. Thank you, miss. Okay. Thank you, miss. So, my last question is: this podcast program title is "Bridge the World." It means bridge the culture difference, bridge something gap when we work together with diverse background people, we must face something various, something difficult situation. But we have to make effort to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
I think you are very passionate to bridge the culture, bridge the world. So, what do you think is a very important role as a professional like you, like me, to bridge the world?
So one is our own example of how
Mhm,
we come across as human beings when we are facilitating or when we are training.
mhm,
What is the presence we are bringing there? Who are we choosing to be? I
mhm,
think that becomes the first starting point
mhm,
because our choice at that point helps us define what will happen in future.
mhm,
So if I come across with an attitude that I know it all, then not much will happen.
mhm,
But if I come with an approach of curiosity,
mhm,
okay, seeking to understand,
mhm,
then make suggestions and offers rather than prescribing a solution.
mhm,
If this will work, yes, definitely.
mhm,
We have to understand the system which is in operation there
mhm, mhm,
and the subsystems below that,
mhm,
which are not always visible.
mhm, mhm.
So when we are doing this as professionals, then the other person understands us. And then they're more willing to chat with us. They're more willing to share with us their mind, their knowledge. And then that bridging of the culture of the world will happen. We have to be clear that this is a time process, as in it takes time. So if you're in a hurry, nothing will happen again because they will sense you're in a hurry. We can do it, so why can't they? There's no reason why they cannot also sense when we are in a hurry, just as we can sense when they are in a hurry. So then the process will become transactional.
I see.
There will be no bridge formed. There will be an image of a bridge where people are talking across, but not coming, as you said, walking together or walking towards each other. That's my thought around this.
Oh, thank you, Miss. Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much. It was very inspiring, and I learned so much. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you.